Hey everyone, it's Carly here. So I'm just heading for a walk to my local beach, 10 minutes from my house. Boom. The reception can be a bit funny around here, so I'll see how it goes. Hopefully it doesn't drop out, because I really want you to see this amazing background that I have going on. There's my path to the beach, but I'm just surrounded by bush, which is pretty epic. So I've just finished an interview for my podcast, From Surviving to Thriving, episode 12. And today I interviewed Heidi Lee Anderson from the radio, from 92.9 FM. Her current radio show is Heidi, Xavier and Ryan. She used to be part of Heidi, Will and Woody. And she's also known as the real Heidi. So she kind of really started on her own journey about 18 months, 2 years ago, of kind of having a bit of a quest of coming out of her anxiety, I suppose. So we were talking about that on my podcast, and I asked her the question, because she's sober now. She's been sober for the last 6 weeks. I think she's doing an 18-month sober challenge. And I said to her, if the real Heidi, the sober Heidi, the Heidi that you are now, could speak to the Heidi that you were 18 months, 2 years ago, the person that was on the floor in a heap, really not in a good space in the darkest time of your life, what would you say? And we kind of had this discussion around how it's all about the baby steps at that point. You might have all these tools in your toolbox. You might know all these amazing things that could help you or should help you, right? You know that you know all these different things, and why aren't you using them? And you give yourself shit for not using them. But you know what? When you're a heap on the floor, really it's just about the most boring, practical, mundane steps that you need to take to help yourself get better, right? So when I think back to the time when I was in a pretty bad place in terms of my depression, or the depression I was experiencing at the time. Hey, check out the ocean. You might be able to see it behind me there. So I'll be there soon. So when I think back to my darkest days when I was in depression, I had a friend from Melbourne who would check in with me regularly, who also experienced this depression herself. And at that point, literally, I'm a pretty smart girl, right? I know what to do for myself. I know what self-care means. I know how to look after myself, blah, blah, blah. But in that space I was in, did I want to do any of those things? No, I didn't. So my friend from Melbourne, bless her, she was such a support line for me at the time. She would call me up and I'd still be in bed, and it'd be in the afternoon, and she'd say, have you got out of bed yet? No. Okay, do me a favour and sit up. And she'd just keep chatting to me, and then do me a favour and swing your legs over the edge of the bed. And I just literally, it's like an idiot's guide to making it through the day when you're really, really depressed. And then she'd say, go to the fridge and have a big slug of water, and go and have a shower, and then call me back. And go and do this, and then call me back. And literally just a step-by-step idiot's guide instruction to not being in an even worse state that day than I already was. And, with support like that, God, I was just so blessed. And then it wasn't long before I could leave my room. And then before I could go outside and stand in the sunshine for 10 minutes, and then go for a walk around the park and get back to doing what I knew would help me, but actually feeling, even though I was unmotivated to do it, feeling like, come on, let's just get this done, giving myself a pep talk, let's just get this done, Carly. It's something I should do to feel better. So that's what me and Heidi were talking about, was sometimes it's all about the baby steps. If you are in a really shitty, horrible place right now, don't give yourself a hard time about having to do X, Y, Z to feel better. Just do the absolute basics, like the primal basics that your body needs to at least not feel worse than it currently already does. Here's the ocean. Check this out. Can you see that behind me? Hey Donna, hey Amanda, hey Aaron. So what do you need to do right now if you're feeling like absolute dog's balls to at least not feel better? Hydrate yourself, at least a couple of litres of water a day. Move your body, even if that's a 5-minute stretch. Do some yoga off YouTube or something. At least if the only thing that you can do, and this is totally fine if this is the only thing that you can do, if the only thing that you can do is to get out of bed each day, then do that. You know, just that's one solid achievement for the day, is getting up out of bed and knowing that you've done that, you know, and cheerlead yourself on and get other people involved in that if you can. And then it's small incremental baby steps of, you know, every day doing, or, you know, every week doing something a little bit different, having a bit more water, or stretching for a bit longer, or getting up a tiny bit earlier, whatever it is that you need to do to feel better. I'm going to switch arms because my arm is aching. 1 second. I can see the beautiful ocean in front of me right now. I feel like I'm having like a love affair with the ocean. It's so cool. I mean, check this out. It's pretty epic. Oh, and I've got people walking behind me thinking I'm a weirdo for being on a live video. But do I care? Not really. When I was depressed, would I have cared? Hell yes. Never would have done anything like this back then. Excuse the wonky, I'm like four-wheel driving on my feet. I'm so happy to be taking a few people to the beach with me. Amanda, beautiful ocean. This is a very timely message for me. Thank you, Carly. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad that it's resonating with you, babe. Yeah, you know, when I was back in my darkest days, fuck, it was so hard to want to wake up the next day. And I remember waking up in the morning going, oh God, really? You know, like gutted that I had woken up, absolutely gutted. Was I ever suicidal? No, but I could definitely see how I came pretty close to having thoughts like that. Well, I definitely had thoughts like that. I came not anywhere near close to acting on them, but I definitely stepped into the darkest headspace that I'd ever been in, where I could see how you could get that way, you know? And that was a really scary moment to be in. What did I do at that point? I called friends of mine who were the other side of London at that point, because I was a bit scared about what I might do if I didn't do that, if I didn't go and hang out with other people who I knew would talk me down, you know? So if you have a support crew, then use them. And I know that when you're in anxiety and depression and those kind of really shitty, horrible feeling spaces, you just feel like a fucking burden to everyone that's around you. Do you want to call people? No, you don't. Do you need to call people? Yes, you do. But you've also got to make sure that they're the right people. And there's the thing, isn't it? You know, I had people in my life at that point who didn't say some great things. I mean, they didn't necessarily say anything wrong, but it's how I took it in the state that I was in. You know, like my housemates at that point gave me shit for not putting the bins out, and I just took that to mean that was the worst housemate in the world, that they didn't want me there, that I should move out. You know, that horrible negative drama cycle that goes on in your head when you're in depression. It's just so shit. And did they mean that? No, they didn't. Was I pulling my way around the house? I definitely wasn't. But I didn't even want to live at that point, you know. So did I care about taking the bins out? No, I did not. So here we are, people, at the beach. This is 10 minutes from my house. And when I was in depression, when I was in anxiety, when I was in a shit relationship, when I was all those things that, you know, I never saw myself kind of getting out of necessarily at that point, I used to dream about this. And now it's 10 minutes from my house and I'm totally in love with it. This love affair with the ocean. You know, I have a good chat to her as I walk along with my feet in the salt water, because salt water is a really powerful transmuter of negative energy. I'm not feeling negative today in the slightest, but I know how important grounding is. You know, being able to get your feet into the ground, into the gorgeous salt water with nobody behind me anymore. I think they've run away because they think I'm a freak. Ha! Who cares? So thank you so much for watching this, guys. It's been a pleasure taking you to the beach. I'll hold on for a little bit longer because you've got to see what this bad boy is doing. Literally never gets old. Check her out today. it's nice and cold on my toes. Oh, isn't she magnificent? When I look at her and that massive expanse of ocean, I just think any kind of problems that I think I might have are just so insignificant compared to what she's doing day in and day out. She just keeps doing her thing, rolling in and out. She doesn't give a shit about what kind of problems we think we have. And underneath, what we can see is this magnificent other world that we never really get a look in on, you know? How cool is that? I'm going a bit rambly now. I said I would say goodbye, but I'm quite enjoying having a chat. It's been ages since I've done a live video, and I'm on a bit of a high today after my interview with Heidi and teaching Reiki earlier and having an epic coaching session this morning. I think Aaron's still watching. Yeah, I had an epic coaching session this morning. So absolutely loving my day, absolutely loving where I live. You know, if you are currently struggling, if you're currently in anxiety, depression, any of those kind of shitty emotional states, know that feelings are temporary, they can change, they will change. They absolutely have changed for me. You know, to think that, I mean, I dreamt about this life constantly. I knew it was going to happen for me, but not necessarily when I was in those horrible dark spaces. So, boom to that. I hope whatever you're doing today, you have an epic day. If you are feeling like shit, just do something good for yourself. You know, have a think. Ask yourself the question, what's one thing I can do right now, even if it's tiny thing, to help myself feel even a little bit better. And then go and do that thing. Go over to my website, www.coachcarly.com. You'll see a pop-up box that will appear. I'm going to switch you to that side again because you're going to see this amazingness. Yeah, go to www.coachcarly.com. There'll be a pop-up box that will appear with download 18 ways to feel better now. It's like a cheat sheet that I created. If you really, you know, I know when I was in my deepest, darkest moments of depression, I couldn't fucking think for myself what I had to do. That's why I had my friend call me. Well, she decided to call me rather. So print off that cheat sheet, stick it on your fridge. Lots of my clients do that. Stick it on your fridge, add your own stuff to it. And yeah, I hope that helps you because it's just lots of easy, effortless things that you can do. A bit like, I think going for a walk on the beach and being in salt water is definitely one of them. So thanks for the beach trip. Wish I was there. I wish you were too here, Donna babe. Yeah, it's a pretty great view, isn't it, Amanda? Yeah, I keep saying I'm lucky, but I'm not lucky. I totally 100% created this lifestyle for myself because I got really fucking clear on what I wanted. And the reason I got really clear on what I wanted was because I was totally in a place that I didn't want. So if you're in that place now, just know that from this space, you're creating all the contrast. Yeah, just see this as a space of contrast where this is showing you more of the stuff that you don't want in order to show you more of the stuff that you do want. So with every dark night of the soul, the other end of that is the hero's journey, where you've been through the dark night of the soul and then you can share that hero's journey with other people. Thanks, Christy. All right, I will head off now because I'm not sure how much longer my reception is going to last, but I can see people are hanging on and you're clearly liking the view. So I'm just going to give you another little quick spin around because this is everything I put on my vision board and then some. How good is that? How good is that? Enjoy your day. I know that lots of you who are watching now are near a place like this. So get down there. Get out there, get down there, enjoying it, you know. Take your kids to the beach, take your dogs to the beach, or just take yourself to the beach. I love you loads. I love you loads. That's all I can say. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.